Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are on Mother Earth. Welcome to this free introductory evening for this very, very special weekend of He Xie, greatest harmony. And anyone who was on the forgiveness practice call Tuesday morning heard that the theme was forgiveness with technology. That seems to be a constant theme in my life. I think that I need to do lots more forgiveness practice so that the whole thing will flow so beautifully and be smooth as silk all the time. Haven't quite reached that yet, but it's coming. So part of this weekend will include technology, because if we're going to be in harmony with all that is around us, that includes all souls. So for some people, it will be technology. For some people, it will be the traffic. For some people, it will be the weather. For some people, it will be other people. So there is a whole big range of possibilities. So this weekend, for me, is really an exquisite one. All of the weekends on each one of the das has really been exquisite. Well, what can I say? This is what Master Sha has told us is the path. This is the path to the divine. This is the path to Tao. This is the path to oneness. So the fact that it would be exquisite is not a surprise. So this Da He Xie Now, I know what I have received as the goal, the purpose, the hope for the weekend, for all of us. But it would be really great to hear from each one of you. What would you want to have happen for you during a weekend of greatest harmony? What would you want to have happen for you? And people on the webcast, I fully anticipate having a whole long list from you also. People on the telephone, the teleconference, I look forward to hearing your lovely, melodious voices. So, anyone who would like to be first? What would you hope to have happen for you?
I'll say a word.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Marilyn, and everyone who made this possible. I think harmony for me would be just to bring peace to all the aspects of my life, to be balanced, perhaps. I think for me, peace.
You don't get another paragraph.
What?
I only need phrases, not a paragraph. So
balance, peace.
To all aspects.
To all aspects of my life. Yeah. Harmony.
Oh, I should say no. And then what was the other one? Balance. And I would guess that means balance all aspects of your life.
Yeah. Less highs and lows.
Oh, an even keel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of balance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe emotional. Yeah.
Fewer highs and lows.
Yeah. Thank you.
In my mind when you said balance. Other ideas. Yes.
I'll say flow.
Flow. That everything in your life would flow? Is that it?
Yeah, it's just, you can hit a wall, and you'll know how to just keep on going.
Okay.
Kind of like, like, you may hit like a blockage, right? Like an obstacle or a lesson. But you're eased to it. You're like, okay, you're understanding, you're calm, and
Can we give him a mic?
you're following it.
Oh, sorry.
Whenever somebody's talking, can somebody else be attentive to that and hand that person the microphone?
Thank you. Yes, it's ready.
Okay. Well, harmony can be to a perspective as well. My perspective would be flowing in even the hardest times, such as a difficulty, and feeling not low self-esteem. You're confident you can ease through it. Harmony is balance, and it's contentment. Not necessarily controlling, but you're able to grasp and, flow.
Okay. So flow with every situation in life.
Yeah, like totally.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What comes to me is the teaching of Lao Tzu to be like water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said that. Something.
So that's
Flow
where
like water.
That's where he got it.
He's an influence. He's an influence.
Christine has something for you.
Oh, great.
Okay. I would like to be able to sing
Oh,
my note well.
excuse me. Would you give the microphone to Master Robert, please?
Yes, so her request or so is that I would like to be able to sing my note well when others are singing a different note in order to create harmony.
Okay. I'm not going to ask, are there comments? Would you please read the comments from the chat box?
I'm not seeing any at this time. Not seeing any at this time right now, Master Marilyn.
I am absolutely amazed.
I'll keep checking. I'll let you know, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
How about the phone? Mhm.
Press 1 to mute all. This conference is unmuted. Callers may mute themselves by pressing star 1.
Hello?
Hello?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello?
I'm not able to get into the website. It's down.
The website's down?
Yes, it's down.
Oh, that might be one reason why there are no comments in the chat box.
Okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
Great. So, one by one, you could give your comments on the phone line, and Lawrence will work on getting the website up.
Yes, my name is Ana.
Yes,
Ana
Anna.
Peña.
Yes,
And for me, harmony is like have synchronicity with everything in my life.
congruity with everything in your life. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. That sort of reminds me of flowing with every situation.
Yes.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome, Mr. Marilyn.
Another person, there were several people who spoke.
Hi, Master Marilyn. This is Linnea. I apologize. I just got on the line. I was directing my soul power group to this particular evening, and so I just got on the line, and my computer's not allowing me to connect, so this is my connection this evening. My understanding of the question is what it means for me to have harmony.
Yeah, yes, and what is your hope, your desire for this weekend on harmony? What do you hope is going to happen for you?
I wish really big. Harmony for me is a peaceful family moving in the same or similar direction with a gentle, loving peace. And this would allow me to open up my home and begin meetups here. We live out in the country, and it would be really a beautiful thing to be able to have the community be able to meet here. And so that's just a small part of my wish. And just even saying these words, my heart just almost giggles, and my soul is dancing in my heart. And so I'm really excited about this weekend. Thank you for the opportunity, Hal.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I can see that happy heart.
That's good.
Next. So there are other people on the teleconference, so you can speak now. And if you're speaking, you have yourself muted. No? Okay. Did you want to add? Okay. So the website will probably be functioning shortly. However, until you actually see something on your computer screen, please do stay connected through the teleconference line. So these are absolutely qualities of harmony. Peace in all aspects of our own individual life. So to have harmony within. And we are actually going to offer a crown chakra blessing, because what this would be, actually has many, many different layers. So one aspect, or two aspects of this would be to have a happy and harmonious heart. And to have a happy and harmonious mind. So the emotions and our mental state would be balanced. They would be happy and harmonious. But then there's more to us also. So to have harmony within our cellular structure, all the way down to the cells, that the cells would be in harmony with one another. Imagine what that would do to our energy level, to our health. That our systems would be in harmony within the system, but then also between the systems. And harmony with our organs. And so we usually think of the 5 major organs of traditional Chinese medicine, the 5 elements. So that would be liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. So to have harmony within those, but also between them. So when that happens, this one also would very much go balanced, to be at an even keel, fewer highs and lows, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, every way. Would very much connect to having harmony within. To flow with every situation in life. So, to sing my note well when others are singing a different note in order to create harmony. To hang on to your own note and not be thrown off by what others are singing. To keep singing your note and to know that it is really lovely, beautiful, and a contribution to the whole melody. And that everybody's note, when it comes together, will create a harmony. And to have congruity with everything in my life, which, as I said, it sounds very much like flow with every situation, peace in all aspects of my life. To have a peaceful family, gentle, loving, and to be able to open up your home. So these are really magnificent. I love them. They're beautiful. It's almost like a poem. So my next question is this what your hope is for the weekend? And you can just say yes or no. Or is this so by the end of the weekend you hope to accomplish this?
Hope it flows. Falls into place.
I hope it falls into place. Okay, so what my goal for the weekend is to connect with heaven in such a way to receive what heaven is giving to each one, so that there would be an opportunity to experience more fully what Da He Xie is. So maybe by the end of the weekend, you're not going to say, okay, I've reached it. I can flow with whatever is present in my life. But by the end of the weekend, to be able to say, I have a deeper experience of what it means to flow with everything in my life. Does that sound okay?
What would you say? What were you saying about the experience part?
To have the experience through practices, through blessings, to actually, there's not another word for it, to actually experience, to have a taste during the course of the weekend of that flow, so that it is expanded in your life. There will be more. There are levels. There are levels and levels and levels. To have peace in all aspects of my life. A lot of these are really a description of Tao. If we accomplish this, we have reached Tao. When we have peace in all aspects of our life, that means there's no ego, there is no karma, we are free of yin-yang existence, but what we can do is we move in that direction. What we can do is we can experience what it means to have peace in every aspect of our lives, and to appreciate how one aspect of our lives supports the others. It's like a dance, or it's like a weaving. I don't have anything around that's woven, but...
Yes, you do.
Ah, fabulous, Sophia, you're wonderful.
It's all woven.
Pardon me?
It shows the warp and weft.
Perfect, thank you. Lawrence, can you show this, please?
Sure.
Thank you. So, when we do grow in our experience that one thing supports the other, it's like this weaving, and it makes a beautiful pattern. This pattern happens to be very regular, but there are also weavings where it's not so regular. So the colors are consistent, but there are other weavings where there's great variation. So perfect, thank you so much. Did you want to add something? You've got the microphone right there. That's okay.
You got experience. No experience, no fun. The weave itself.
Pardon?
Don't worry about the weave, how the weave is going to turn out. Let it be an ugly quilt, a kilt, whatever, right? Quilt, what do you call them? A blanket or whatever it's being knitted. It's okay if it comes out ugly, but there's no such thing, because you can always start over, so to speak, right? And that is one step closer to divine. And just And that's flow. And accepting that.
Exactly. That's it exactly. And to be able to be at peace with that. That's part. So during the course of the weekend, that will be part of what we will be doing. To be able to connect with those different aspects of our lives, of who we are, and to be able to see them not as separate aspects, but as a whole. And so if we look at something, like you mentioned, the weaving might be ugly, but it might be ugly if we look at just one part of it. But if we see the whole thing, we can see that that particular part added extraordinary texture. And without that texture, the weaving could be very boring. So part of the messages that I'm getting from reading these is to be able to come to that kind of appreciation. And so the weekend will really be like a pebble in the water. And it's very interesting to me that, there's an intuitive realization and understanding and wisdom. To have harmony, we need to start with ourselves. That's our starting point. Yes. How perfect. How perfect. So, and I want to just share this couple of sentences. They're from the book Soul Over Matter. Is the website working now, Lawrence?
Everything will be available during playback, but at the moment, people will have to stay on the phone line.
Oh, okay.
So you can let them know.
Okay.
The technical support team is working on it.
Oh, wow.
Not our tech.
No,
the global tech.
global technical support is working on this. Oh, my goodness.
So we're filming as if they're seeing it locally because we're going to be able to play it back at a later time. Video on demand. The video on demand.
That's fabulous. Jason, you have saved the day. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Jason has figured out how to create a website that will have a video of all of our workshops and our Love, Peace, Harmony, World Family meetings. And those are posted to a special website for the San Francisco Center. And you can go to that. And for those who did not see tonight, they'll be able to see it on video on demand.
Yeah, I just want to repeat for those that may not have heard, there's some technical difficulties that we are investigating through the global tech team right now. It has to do on their end, but please stay on the phone and we'll let you know when we are back up. Thank you so much.
More forgiveness with the soul of technology. Okay. So, in Master Sha's book, which is his most recent one at this point, Soul Over Matter, Master Sha has 4 sacred phrases for each one of the Das. The Da He is the sixth one of the Das. And the 4 sacred phrases, the English translation are, 3 people join their hearts together. Their strength can cut gold. The secret of success. But then when Master Sha is explaining this, he said that the sentences, 3 people join their hearts together, their strength can cut gold, is from the I Ching. It is a renowned Chinese classic that is a treasure to unlock the sacred code of humanity and the universe. So Master Sha is calling those sentences a sacred code. 3 people join hearts together. Their strength can cut gold. And I was curious about this. I thought, just exactly how strong is gold? Well, I found out that when you pull it apart, it does not take too many pounds to pull it apart. Mm-hmm. But 1 ounce of gold can be pounded into like 300 square, either inches or feet. Must be inches. It's a huge, huge, huge area.
Yeah.
So it's very strong. You can flatten it out, flatten it out, flatten it out. Just 1 ounce, that's not very much. And you can keep flattening it, flattening and flattening and flattening, and it maintains its integrity. So I thought, okay, now I understand that. Now I understand what it means. 3 people whose hearts are joined as one have the strength to cut gold. And that this phrase, 3 people whose hearts are joined as one, is a code for humanity. Master Sha doesn't say anything just because it sounds nice. What he puts in the books, what he shares with us, is wisdom that will change our lives when we live it. Now, is he talking about only 3 people? No. Master Sha is letting us know that when our hearts when heart touches heart, there is such a strength there. Oh, the webcast is up. Thank you, global team. Wonderful. And the people on the webcast, would you just say hello in the chat room so we'll know that you've connected? We will not necessarily read all of those hellos, but it will be a way that we would know that you've connected. Yeah. So that's going to be like a mantra throughout the weekend. That when heart touches heart, there is strength that can cut gold, and that is the secret of success. These are the sentences that Master Sha has shared about harmony. So, for heart to touch heart, this has to happen. Right? Yes.
You know, actually, when you first started the workshop and you took down all that, that was the first thing that came to my mind, right there.
Harmony within myself.
Yeah. It was actually with myself. Didn't say within, but harmony with myself.
Well, that's good too. Same difference. I'll add it. So, what would be some of the things that would block that harmony?
I would say self-criticism. Negative self-image, negative, comparing myself at one moment to another moment when I thought I was much better. I'll let other people say a few things if they want.
I would say making the wrong choices. Like you choose who you want to be around, and when you keep choosing people. I would say not making the right choices. Like, you know, we choose who we want to be around. We choose who we allow to just, you know, ramble on and on in front of us for whatever they want to talk about, and just not allowing yourself to set firm boundaries when that happens. You know, just realizing these, making yourself, not being aware of that kind of stuff. And I would say bringing in more light so that just melts away, and, you know, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it goes with karma, right? So, to extend on the karma aspect, it's just a matter of analyzing it and just wanting to heal it. That's it. They start with that, but what blocks it, though, what really blocks it, is a continuation of, like she was saying, these influences are around you, what you're doing. You know, if you're continuously doing that, how are you gonna, build? You're just playing in sand and not making any castles.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any comments on the webcast? On the chat room?
Yes, there are. So, we'll start with Robin Brandt, website up. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or I mean comments about this.
Okay.
Sorry. They might not have had time yet.
No, not yet. They're just grateful to be here. Glad, saying greatest love to you, Master Marilyn, and honored to be here. Not yet.
Okay, great. Okay, that would be good. Thank you.
This is unmuted. Callers may mute themselves by pressing star 1. There are currently 9 other participants in the conference.
So if anybody on the phone would like to chime in, Master Marilyn asked the question regarding harmony with myself as some examples. If you don't...
She said, what would block harmony?
What would block, thank you, sorry, thank you. What would block harmony with myself, with yourself? Can somebody say hello on the phone?
Yes, hello.
Good. Thank you, Anna.
Hello, Master. I'm listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
I'll go. This is Pamela. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Pamela.
Good evening.
Hi. So, negative karma in soul, heart, and mind. And in the mind, it's mindsets, attitudes, beliefs, ego, and attachment.
Okay, I'm going to put down the infamous 5.
Okay.
I don't know what they are, or I don't know.
Negative mindsets, negative attitudes, negative beliefs, ego, and attachments. Yeah.
Anyone else on the phone? I still have the phone line open.
This is Pamela. I want to say something
Yes.
else about that, and that is an insufficient amount of forgiveness practice. That's a biggie.
Okay.
And I just thought of another one, and that's folding yuan bao and offering that to heaven in the greatest capacity that we use heaven's virtue.
Thank you.
I think the changes come where if they really come things inside, we really, if we really pursue that and we really want it, the change can become easier.
Okay. But if we really want change, it becomes easier. Good. Thank you.
Yes. It's
Thank
no
you.
problem.
Okay.
Anyone else on the phone before we close the line? Okay, thank you.
And then if there are comments that connected to this on the chat room, you can let me know.
Press 1 to... This conference is muted.
So this is what we want. We want harmony within myself, harmony with myself. But there are all these blocks. And as Nick pointed out, and all of us, I think, realize, these are all connected to karma. They are all expressions of karma. Welcome. Nice to see you again. It's also nice to see all of the rest of you. I didn't always stop. Sorry about that. So many of you know that I taught school for my entire adult career. Many of those years I taught primary grades, in particular first grade. And you have heard me say that to have a successful lesson, I absolutely had to do readiness. There was a whole, and sometimes the readiness would take maybe a whole week. And the actual presenting of the concept might be one day. But without the readiness, the concept did not make sense. And there were a couple of times, there were 2 times especially, that I looked at where we were in the math curriculum. And I looked at the calendar and I thought, oh dear, we're in trouble here. I needed more days. And I couldn't keep the children. I mean, the last day of school, that's the last day of school. They were going to go home no matter what I said. So I decided, okay, I'm going to speed this readiness thing up. Wrong already. So I decided I was going to, like shorten it. Instead of a whole week, just spend a couple of days and then do the concept. Well, the children were so hopelessly confused that it took like a week and a half to untangle the mess. When we can begin to look at our lives as readiness, that everything that has gone before is readiness for where we are now, we feel different about it. So we can look at what we have done and we can see the mistakes. We can see the influences, the people, and that there's a repeated pattern. And that it's a pattern that is not leading to health and happiness. And we can say to ourselves, oh, good grief. And we could use all sorts of unfavorable ways of describing ourselves. Right? We have used all sorts of unfavorable ways of describing ourselves. That's one way to approach what we have done. The other way another way, it's not the other way, but another way to approach that is to say, heaven has given me many opportunities to be ready for what is happening now. Heaven has given me many opportunities to be ready to say thank you. Heaven has given me many opportunities to say, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Oops. Heaven has given me many opportunities to say, I get it now. I didn't get it before. Now I get it. We would not have the appreciation for what is happening now without everything that happened before. It's called readiness. Now, people who are not school teachers don't go around talking about readiness. I realize that. Maybe you do. Do you use that term? No. Probably just those of us in elementary school. And probably just the lower primary grades. I don't even know if, the upper grades talk about readiness. But it is a powerful way to transform self-criticism to gratitude. It is a powerful way to change a negative self-image to gratitude. And it's not a game. It's not a game. My personality is the type of personality that has found it difficult to do affirmations because they seemed like pretend. And there were some things I'm really good. I love to pretend about some things, but my life is not one of them. So I had a hard time. Now, I'm not saying that affirmations are not good. I'm just saying for me, they did not work. And that's an important piece of information to have about me. Because what I'm telling you here is not an affirmation. I'm telling you something that out of the experience of my life works. When we look at what has gone before and we say, that is readiness for where I am now, I can say, thank you. I can say, I'm sorry that I didn't get it before. I'm sorry I spent so much time and energy criticizing myself. I mean, just think about it. I'm the best product of Master Merlin that heaven has created. And if I'm criticizing myself, it's saying to heaven, you know, you really didn't do too good of a job here. It's not a good idea. Does that mean I think I'm perfect? No. It just means that I realize that things that have been part of my pattern so far have brought me to this level of understanding, realization, and awareness. Does that make sense? A couple of people are shaking their heads. Yes?
Yeah, so my comment, first of all, is that is, first of all, a great realization that you're sharing about everything happens for our readiness. What came to my mind is the underlying trust that you have to have. And so I think the disharmony can happen when we don't trust. So the central issue for me is that when I'm deep in my stuff and I'm like, why me, and why is this happening, and you know, how come my life's not working out the way I would like? Because I don't have that trust, I don't immediately go into, hey, you know, this is preparing me for where I'm at. This is preparing me for what's coming. It's not, it's going to be a learned skill, because maybe that trust, I could be,
Yes.
you know, at some points in time very trusting, and
Do you know,
sometimes,
Lawrence, thank you for saying that. Trust is, you're right, it is a learned skill. And I want to share with you a story from when I was getting my master's degree in religious studies. I was taking, it was at a Catholic college. And so there were various theology classes. And there are different approaches to theology. Some of them are very organized, very, very organized. Lots of details, bazillions of details. then there is scripture. And then there's a whole part called moral theology. There's all sorts of different categories. There's a relatively new one that came about in the long history of the Catholic Church. It's a new one. It came about mid part of the last century, so that's relatively new. And it was called pastoral theology. So people looked at their experience and they reflected on it, and then they saw, well, what in Scripture matches my experience? It was a different approach. So those of us in this class, some of the students kept saying, well, how? How do you know? And the person who was teaching it would say, well, you know, you just trust your experience. And then we'd go on, and somebody else would say, well, how? How do you know? And the response was, well, you trust your experience. So after this happened a couple of times, he finally stood there, leaned up against the wall, put his arms like this, and he said, there is no how-to on trust. You learn to trust by trusting. It is a learned skill. And you know, I think that's true for just about every quality that we have. We learn to be patient by being patient. We learn to be compassionate by being compassionate. We learn to be humble by being humble. But the trust is a big one, because this one can feel like we're stepping off the edge of a cliff. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to do that? You know? And then we find out that the cliff was really only an optical illusion, and it's no deeper than stepping off the curb to cross the street. But in our minds, it could look like, you know, Half Dome. Oh, people on the line don't know what Half Dome. It could look like a very steep, and very deep, like the Grand Canyon. It could look like that. So this is really a very, very key aspect to being able to realize and to accept that what has come in my life is the readiness for what I am experiencing now. You want to say something about patience? Okay. There it is.
I don't want to go off course from what you're teaching us, but you had mentioned about being a teacher and having to unravel, trying to push people for your students for readiness. And as a teacher myself, I've been on the opposite, the total reverse of that, where I've had a student be dragged to me by the parent and be like, you know, my child is smart and she's been through all of this, and we went through Sylvan 3, you know, all of this stuff, and she's excelling in all of her other classes, and, you know, we hear that you're really good at this, so why don't you do something? And I'm like, wow. And here I am. I'm like, well, okay, you know, I'm going to try. And I, you know, as a teacher, you have this, oh, and not only that, but the mother had multiple sclerosis, and I'm like, well, my rates are $75 an hour. And I felt no guilt, because I knew the financial situation, and they had already spent, and I'm like, and that's just what it is. And I thought, how can I do this? And then not only that, but the child, talk about patience. I was very patient with this girl, with this young, you know, and we were on the same page in algebra for like a month or two. And at that point, her whole emotional thing, she was just almost through the roof. And she came in one day and just started yelling at me and told me, you know, Catherine, you're more expensive than a private school. And I'm like, well, you know, I mean, teaching your daughter. And what I ended up doing with her mother sitting there, I'm like, I don't know how to help the student. I just started screaming at the girl. And she got it. We figured out what had happened all, like in that moment, she was ready. She got it. And it was something that was this twisted pretzel that her original teacher had set into her consciousness that just ruined all of algebra for her. She thought that 0 actually had a value because the teacher used a football. Yeah, I'm just telling you, patience. I just, what do you do?
So right now, I would say that probably a lot of forgiveness might be needed in this situation. And the reason I say that, and that was one of the things up here, where do we have? Insufficient amount of forgiveness. We have so many wonderful clues in our lives of what is needed. So you've been brought to this point, you've been brought to this weekend, and there's a reason for it, because there's a whole area where more harmony is needed in relationship to this whole family. The way that we know that forgiveness is needed is the intensity of feeling connected with what we are sharing or experiencing.
That is correct.
So there's an event in my life
I never heard it put like that. That's perfect.
that was devastating for me. Absolutely devastating. It was, the best way I could explain it is to say it was betrayal at the highest level in a venue that was most sacred as far as I was concerned. And when I would talk about that, and actually, this is before I knew Master Sha. Thanks be to God I met Master Sha, because then I could transform it. But for years, when I talked about it, there was such intensity of feeling. And given who I am, I don't get really, intense for the most part. But there was such emotion connected to it. It took me so long to do forgiveness practice enough to be able to bring that whole series of events back to my awareness and feel completely calm about it. I mean, clearly I'm not going to share that right now because it would not be appropriate. It would include other people, and they haven't given permission. But if I had that permission, I would be able to tell you about that series of events the same way that I would be able to give you the weather forecast for next week. And by the way, it will be raining next week. Anyway, I would be able to do that. So when you've reached the point where with any one of these things, you are able to tell this experience to another person with equanimity and staying in harmony within yourself, then you know that you have done enough forgiveness. And that it truly has become part of your readiness. That's also a very good measurement for knowing whether or not these series of events have become part of your readiness. Or is there still that charge to them? And if there's still a charge to them, then just keep going back to yourself and saying, did I write it up here someplace? Readiness. This is the readiness that has brought me to where I am today. Thank you, Heaven.
So what are you supposed to do if you're not ready? Go back to forgiveness?
Maybe you use the microphone, please.
Is that what you do, is go back to forgiveness if you're not ready?
That's right. If there's still that charge, then that charge lets you know that more forgiveness is needed. Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. Okay. And our lives, our lives really are like a tapestry. You know, different threads are being woven in at different times, different colors, different textures, different designs. You could also say it's like a mosaic. A tapestry is something that I can, picture more easily. And it's not finished. We are in process. So having harmony within and with myself is the starting point. I was reading The Power of Soul last night, chapter 2. And Master Sha is quoting Confucius, but he's giving examples from Chinese history. But he's quoting Confucius, whose whole system was built on the idea that society, culture starts with the person. So who I am is not just contained within me, but who I am influences the whole society, the whole culture. Yes.
I feel compelled to make this comment. It's interesting that when we're talking about harmony with ourselves, we use many times examples of disharmony we've had with others. For example, your example, and also with Catherine's example. And so I believe that the love that heaven, God, has for us are these interactions, because it's an exact mirror. So when we have those
Yes,
emotions,
exactly.
like you're talking about, when we have that emotion, when we have those feelings and disharmonious situations towards others, we're being shown clearly at that moment where the disharmony is with ourselves.
Exactly. Exactly. And I have also even used that image sometimes when I've been teaching on gratitude. That when we hit something, when there's a snag in the road, when there's a bump, and brings us up short, it is a mirror. It is a mirror. When we grow in that realization and that appreciation, blame goes away. Judgment goes away. Because I'm not looking at somebody and saying, you are da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm looking at myself and saying, there's something in here that needs healing. Exactly. So the idea of readiness. So I'm going to say trust the readiness and the mirror. That's very important too. So by now, people on the webcast have had lots and lots of time that they would be able to put comments in the chat box. There may be, sometimes they get absorbed in what's happening. They forget to go to the.
Let them, tell them you give them a minute or two and we'll come back.
Okay, folks on the webcast, you have a minute or two to put your reflections, your sharing, your comments, your experience, or whatever, in the chat box. Yeah. So actually, all of these are actually very interconnected, and some of them are almost a paraphrase of some of the other ones.
Can I ask a strange question?
There's no such thing as a strange question.
It's a strange question that applies to me, but maybe it applies to others. You know, is there a rightful place for activism? An activist is somebody who, quite frankly, does not agree with something and goes out and makes it bigger, wants people to know that there's a wrong happening and we should rally around this and we should speak up. How does that fit in with harmony? I mean, you know,
Okay. You didn't hear this comment, but the comment that was not spoken into the microphone is, he's amazing.
It's a problem for me. That's why I'm speaking. Not a problem, but it's a challenge to understand where I should be with that.
And I actually can relate to that a lot. Not as a problem, but if you had like a little bit of familiarity with my upbringing and my background, you'd be able to understand. So let me just go to a different one of the 10 Da. Because this has been what has become an anchor for me and a response for me. Okay? So that is from the workshop that we had the last time. Da Qian Bei, greatest humility. It's the fifth one of the Das. Gentle and weak. Do not fight, strive, or argue. Persistently forge ahead vigorously. So what I have come to as a way of being able to stand in what, this is my paraphrase, but stand in the truth and also be consistent with Master Sha's teachings, is to stay away from those situations where I would end up arguing, fighting, or resisting. And what I have come to is an almost unbounded appreciation of the power of love, peace, and harmony. So instead of going out and saying, this is wrong, this is, because that's arguing. It's fighting. This can't be da-da-da. The things that I have done in the past, marches, protests, demonstrations, all that kind of thing. To go about it differently and to say, you know what? We have a response that tells us, I love my heart and soul. Every aspect of who I am. I love my heart and soul. When I love every aspect of who I am, guess what? This is history. This becomes history. That 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 becomes history. They're all gone. I love my heart and soul. Love melts these blocks and transforms these aspects of my life. That's what that first line means. That first line of that song that we've been chirping for years is so profound. I love my heart and soul. 6 words. But the whole thing is transformed. And it becomes so much who I am that I cannot contain it within me. I love all humanity. All humanity, not just the good folks, not just the people who are right, who are kind, who are generous, who are compassionate. Humanity is not a smorgasbord. It's an entree. You take the whole thing. Whatever's brought to you, that's the dish that's served to you.
I like the buffet better.
But that's not the way it goes. I love all humanity. And there are so many reasons why that line is so important, but I love all humanity. So I look over here at group XYZ and I think, oh my God, look at what's going on with XYZ. When I truly love XYZ and I allow the love I have within me to flow to them, it's healing. Blockages can melt and life can be transformed. I don't need to walk around with a placard. I don't need it anymore. Join hearts and souls together. Why? Why is there tension, stress, conflict, etc.? Because we're like that. I'm not going to talk to so-and-so. Oh, that group is da-di-da-di-da. Though I love my heart and soul, I love all humanity. When I begin to do that, I can join hearts and souls together. And the whole thing of which usually called social injustice. I'm not saying it does not exist. I'm not saying that at all. But instead of approaching it like that, we approach it like that. totally different. If I come at you this way, or if I come at you this way, which way are you going to want to listen to me? So social activism in today's world is a very different animal. When you connect with Master Sha's teachings, it is very, very different, but very powerful. There is no power on earth stronger than love. There was a theologian in the 1800s. I think it was the 1800s. Yeah, last part of the 1800s, beginning in the 1900s. And one of his sayings was, when humanity discovers the power of love, it will have discovered the power of fire for the second time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely.
So does that mean we're passive? No. But what it means is that we find a completely different venue for the way that we express our activism. And we bring that song, Love, Peace, and Harmony, with the same intensity of commitment, devotion, dedication, and every other kind of word that we want to use, that we brought to what we call social activism. Yes. Now, wait a minute. There's a microphone here someplace.
Well, I deeply appreciate this conversation and that you brought that up. Somehow, I've said ever since I've heard the first the 10 Da's, that a missing Da is integrity. There's something about integrity, which is congruent action from the inside out and outside in, that challenges a bit the conclusion that you were just expressing, for me personally. I think what occurs for me is I can completely honor and accept exactly what you said and say that the integrity of action for you out of a full heart is not to be, quote, an activist. In contrast, as an example, it may be for myself a different instrument of love in the world, different skill sets, different callings, to show my love in making a stand toward positive stand toward what I want, distinct from what I don't want, and pushing it against it. As an example, the Women's March on Washington was astounding to people, for one, its volume, and two, its nonviolence.
Yeah.
And when people stepped into that energetic field, the Tao of love of the women, standing for what it is they wanted to bring forth, or shall we say, birth in the world, which looks quite different than, as you would say, others, X, Y, and Z, might be expressing in the world as a series of priorities. One of my personal challenges is to look back and notice that sometimes in the New Age, the more conscious you get, the less you participate in the world. And sometimes by your very physical presence, you are making a stand. So for me, I honor your choice. And I would also, unless Master Sha says no activism, which would seem strange to me. But at any rate, in my understanding of the Tao and the flow, that if you're guided to, if your calling is to make a positive statement in the world that by your very presence, you can transmute a space in which it's discordant and fighting to one which is harmonious and loving, moving in the direction of what you want to birth in the world. So I would say, if we were going to do activism, that we would do it from a positive stand of what we want to bring forth without a show of resistance, righteous arrogance, separation, of making wrong that which we love, which is ourselves and other people. It's a different point of view. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you comment on that other than just thank you? Is that incongruent with what Master Shah says?
I think I already really did when I referred to this, and I don't want this to become
Personal dialogue.
Yeah.
It's not
Got it.
Can I make a comment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think this goes back to what you said about two things. When you go at something with the punch instead of the embrace, there's an emotional charge that is connected to us, which makes us have to realize that there's some aspect of us in that situation that we feel very emotional about. And I think because we're on the spiritual path, that's the awareness that we need to have regarding not just personal interactions with one person, but global injustices. Because I know I was involved in other lifetimes in perpetuating those global injustices. So I've realized that, for example, the animals' rights activist may have harmed animals in another lifetime. And so on, and so on, and so on. And so we can make people aware, but I think, like you said, we have to contain that awareness in love, peace, and harmony, because if we're not going about it like that, then it's our issue. It really is. And we could be joining a multitude of people who have that same issue. And that's just, once we transcend our own issue with it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's...
And that is not to discount people like Martin Luther King, Gandhi. You know, we're not discounting these people. Master Shah has a great appreciation for Martin Luther King. I'm putting it in the context of what we're doing. And I'm putting it in the context of Master Shah's teachings. And that is what I have to present to you. When the one Da that you feel is missing, to me, is held within Da Kuan Shu. If I am asking forgiveness and receiving forgiveness, that only can be done when there is the essence of integrity. Otherwise, it's false and fake. So, this is the way I experience it. Yeah. So, all of these things, again, as I said, that song, Love, Peace, and Harmony, is absolutely, in my experience, the most powerful thing we have. You know, imagine if those women who were gathered nonviolently, imagine if they were singing Love, Peace, and Harmony and releasing that frequency and message. Imagine a group of people singing, I love my heart and soul. That was part of the purpose of that, as I understand it. Women saying, we are valuable. We are important. We have, a role, a place. Imagine if every single one of them was singing, I love my heart and soul. There would be no need to make the rest of the statement. The song says it. I love all humanity. Join heart and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Yeah. So, the way I see this song is it is the most underused treasure that we have. The most. And, you know, I feel very blessed because I've had some opportunities recently to be able to connect with, you know, groups, a couple of groups, where I will be able to bring love, peace, and harmony to people who have never heard it, don't know a thing about it. And it has the potential for changing people's lives. So, there are... So this is an idea of what we will be doing this weekend. It will be fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And just think about, I mean, we've only been here, what, an hour and a half. Already there have been some changes. Already there's been some shifting. Already there's been some uneasiness. Already there's been some, oh, thank God. So we're going to do a whole weekend of this.
Yeah.
I think it will be powerful also. I agree with you, Sophia. And I'm repeating that because it was just sort of, you know, it wasn't a really big sharing. What I want to do also is something that in a way is totally unrelated. But because of who I am, I just can't pass it by. And I have figured out a way to relate it. I think many of you know my background, Irish Catholic. Today is the feast of St. Patrick.
Oh, is that why you're wearing green?
That's why I'm wearing green. Yes. That is why I'm wearing green. And I was on the bus, and there were a few little children behind me, and they were saying, they were pinching one another, and one said, well, you're going to get bad luck because I'm wearing green, and you pinched me. And then the other, the one with green, pinched the other one and said, you have bad luck because you're not wearing green. I thought, oh my God, what does that have to do with St. Patrick? But anyway. But you know, when the evening, our free evening was, you know, it fell on this particular day, there are no such things as accidents. Correct. And there is always a message. And this idea of harmony within myself and harmony with myself. To me, Patrick is a very good example. And most people don't know too much about St. Patrick, and for very good reason. There wasn't a lot that was recorded that was terrifically factual. But there were bits and pieces. And I'm not going to share the whole, you know, every bit and piece. But just a few things. His actual birthplace is disputed. Those from the little tiny island where my grandparents were born and raised do not ever want to acknowledge that he could have been born in what is now called England. It's just totally unacceptable. So often he is born and raised in Normandy, which would be a whole different country. So whoever, what we do know about him is he was not born and raised in Ireland, what we call Ireland. That much we know. No, he was not. No, he was not born and raised in what we now call Ireland. That much we know. Well, so let me tell you the story. So raiders came along the coasts of these countries regularly.
Raiders?
Yes. And they would capture the people, the youth, and then bring them to various places and sell them as slaves. They would also usually burn the land, destroy it so that people would not be able to fight back. So where he grew up was pretty much wasteland, and he was brought to Ireland and sold as a slave. Yeah. And he was relatively young, probably around 10 or 12. He was assigned to be a shepherd. In his own country, he had learned about the gospel. So he knew the gospel stories. So he was out on this hillside by himself with the sheep. He did a lot, we would call it meditating.
Right.
He did a lot of meditating. And he also came to know some of the local people and developed a great appreciation for them, a very deep love for the local people. And he had a dream to return to his own country and to become a priest and bring the gospel story back to the Irish people. So he did that. And in order to do that, he had to escape. He figured out his escape plan. He stowed away on a ship. And as they were sailing along, there was, some rough waves. I guess you'd call him the captain of this ship, discovered Patrick, and he was going to have him get off board. They also had dogs on the boat. And when it was decided to get rid of Patrick, all the dogs started to howl. They would not be quiet. And so the captain said, okay, we'll keep him. And the dogs settled down. So Patrick got back to his own country, and in various ways he was able to, work his way back to a place where he was able to study, became, ordained and eventually a bishop. And he gathered together a small group of people and returned to Ireland. And there are countless stories about what happened there. But some of the stories when he was in Ireland that are not commonly known were many, many things he did to help the ordinary people. Many people know about the shamrock and, that whole thing. But he did many, many things to help the ordinary people. He did many, many things to help women and their role in society and the way that they were treated and the marriage arrangements and things like that. So he did a lot to transform that kind of thing. So what Patrick, for me, is a good representative of just exactly what we've been talking about. He came to peace within himself. He was removed from his family, from his country, from everything that was familiar, and sold as a slave. And put out on a hillside with sheep. But he came to peace with that. And he developed a very strong relationship, not only within himself, but with the divine. Yeah. Exactly. And because he was able to do that, he could leave, study, and then return and bring that level of harmony to everybody else. And so eventually, that little island became very Catholic and sent people all over the world with this message of good news. But I think that's, as I said, to me, he's a good example. And it's no accident that this is March 17th. And that we have that kind of an example from another period, another time, to help us to appreciate that what I do radiates out and out and out and out and out. Just as my interactions with other people are a mirror, my interactions with myself is what I bring to others. Yes. So during the weekend, that will be part of what we will be doing. We will be doing practices. We will be receiving blessings. We will, do various things to begin to have my interactions with myself be received as readiness, with trust, forgiveness, gratitude, all of these qualities. Are there comments in the chat room?
Yes, Master Marilyn.
Okay. I have to remember. Because I ask people to put comments in the chat room, and then if you don't ask them, if you don't read their comments, that's really not very nice.
Let's see who we have. Elizabeth Wong wrote, "When I start to think of negative thoughts, I take a deep breath and start to love my heart so I can stop the mind chatter. And before I say anything, I'm very mindful of tone. I'm not sure exactly the sentence, but I'll read it as it's written. I am very mindful of tone. I say my words and always smile. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Countless bow downs." That's the only comment right now for our webcasters regarding this.
Okay. So the last weekend...
I could check on the phone if you want.
Oh, okay.
Just
yeah,
one
that's
last
on the
check.
phone?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This conference is unmuted. Callers may mute themselves by pressing star 1.
If there's any comments for people on the phone line, please go ahead.
I have none, except that I'm very grateful to be in this workshop.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
One.
Okay. Now, there actually was a connection before I asked for the comments, and I lost the connection. But what I was going to point out to everyone is this whole area, the Mingmen. So opposite our navel is the Mingmen acupuncture point. And it extends, that whole Mingmen area, now as I understand Master Sha, extends down to our heels. So it's like this big ball of light. And when we are, heading in one of these directions, to bring our focus here will bring us to being able to say, everything so far has been readiness. Thank you. It will help us to be able to avoid negativity. Because when we are here, we are free of karma. We are free of yin-yang existence. And I wish I could say that I do this a lot, that I'm able to keep my focus here a lot. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you that truthfully. But when I do, it's like mostly when I'm walking along, I'm able to do that. And it's like I picture it's almost like a puppy or a kitten behind me, this big ball of golden light walking along behind me. I love it. I absolutely love it. And when I picture it that way, then I'm able to keep my focus there. And everything becomes different. It is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So it is my deepest, greatest hope to be able to do that with much, much greater frequency. So I've asked people on the teleconference, I've asked people on the webcast, and now I'll ask people in the room. Anybody else have a comment or question related to what we're doing?
Why would, more so than the back of the navel, free you from karma, yin and yang?
This point, Mingmen, is the gate of life. And Master Sha has received the wisdom that this is a Tao point. So when we connect here, we are connecting with Tao in a very special way. And let's see. I think I have this here. We use this circle so often. Let me see it. It might even be here. Or maybe not. Yep, here it is. Okay, so when we connect, Master Sha's wisdom is that when we connect with that point, it is a Tao point. So this is what Master Sha calls the normal creation and reverse creation. This part of the creation circle, above this line, is the Wu world. It's It's before there's form. Everything is formless, without shape.
You said the womb world?
Woo.
Woo world.
W-U. Woo world. Yeah. This part, and this is the whole area of Tao. Tao creates one. One goes back to Tao. Tao creates two, and that's heaven and earth. As soon as you come down here, there's form. Heaven has form, earth has form. Two creates three, three creates all things, and this is where human beings are. So this whole part, as soon as there becomes form, there's the potential for karma. So this whole part of the circle has, this is where karma is present, this is where the yin-yang existence is. And that point, the Mingmen point, helps us to go from where we are directly to this field.
That's just divine. That's just divine, right? Tao, the bliss. It's just the divine.
Well, Master Sha uses the term Tao. Yeah.
Yeah. Tao, but Tao is yin and yang itself. Like, it doesn't matter. But when you say heaven, though, is formed, right? It's formed. I thought that's just like a spiritual realm, so to speak. You know, not including like dimensions and stuff. You know, it's just a realm of kind of.
There is form because in heaven we can name various holy beings who are in heaven.
So it's almost as if you're not even existing, in a sense.
Oh, you very much do exist, but you are able, in this physical reality that we are able to also connect with this field, the Tao field, which is very amazing. That's why I said, it's my greatest, deepest, most sincere desire to be able to do that a lot. Yeah.
Would you think somebody could just be born into it?
Oh, well, I imagine somebody could be born into it. As far as I know, and clearly I don't know everything, but in my experience and in what I've learned, those who are here in physical form, for the most part, are here because of the need to learn lessons. Now, there are some holy beings who do come back to serve. That's their whole purpose. It's sort of like they're looking down saying, oh my goodness, they're not going to make it by themselves. I'll volunteer. I'll go down and I'll give them a hand. This is, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's sort of like that's the way what goes on.
Well,
would you give it the...
in Master Sha's teaching, is there a belief or a sense that those who don't have to reincarnate and choose to come back to serve, to help, to serve, come back as very conscious? They're born conscious. No.
Yeah. Master Sha has said over and over again, when you come back, you're reborn, you come back with no memory of who you were. I suspect, because of a person's soul journey, that the level of awareness would be higher than somebody else the same age. And so possibly would make more progress in the spiritual journey than somebody else who had not volunteered to come back. Yeah.
one more thing that, so say once I go, right, once I just float out of this thing, am I going to go to the Tao, or am I just going to chill and have my rest in heaven?
Well, it really depends on what you do here on Earth.
Your behavior.
Yes, I can't answer that for you right now. I can give you all sorts of references, and I can give you all sorts of materials to let you know. If you want to reach Tao, there are certain things that are really necessary. Number 1 is service. Number 2 is service. And number 3 is service. Unconditional. Total gold. Would you like to add something to that, Master Shunya? Service.
I'm sure there are other things, but service is very important.
Oh, just forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
The 10 Das.
Yes.
That's why we have this. Oh. That is why this is why we're having this series. The 10 Da are qualities of Tao, or divine. You would say divine, that's fine. So living, embodying each one of those 10 Da will bring us here.
And for new people, Master Marilyn, maybe you explain what that is, the 10 Das. People may not know what Da means.
Oh, thank you. I think I'll be using this throughout the weekend, so. And I'm going to move this one over here too. Okay, so I referred to the 10 Das. Da means greatest. But it's actually so much more than the word greatest. In the book, Tao 1, when Master Sha is presenting the Tao Jing, the first classic that he received, there's a phrase in there that uses Da. Da Wu Wai. So Master Sha is using examples to help the reader understand what Da means. And the examples he used are the universes that are the farthest away that can be measured. And there are some that are so many, many light years away. It's beyond comprehension. And that scientists tell us this is as far as we can measure, but we know there are universes beyond that. So that is what Master Sha is telling us that Da means. Beyond the limits, beyond the boundaries. That's what Da means. There are no limits, there are no boundaries. So there are 10. Da-I, greatest love. Da-Quan Shu, greatest forgiveness. Imagine forgiving yourself with no boundaries, no limits, and then doing that for others. Da, survey, compassion. Da Guangming, light. Light and transparency, whole body becomes transparent. Blockages are removed. Da, Qianbei, humility. Da, He Xie, harmony. Da, Changsheng, flourishing. Da, Gan, gratitude. Da, Fu, service. Da, Yuan Man, enlightenment. Oops. And the reason I kept saying service over and over and over again, let me read the line here for service. I'm only going to read one line. There are 4, but I'm only going to read one. The highest sacred grace gate of Tao source is selfless service. So the gate to enlightenment is selfless service. As you know, we've said a couple of times, this is a sequence, and we are doing this series in sequence because one really does flow into the next. Da'ai opens the door. But each one, when we did Da Qianbei, some of the participants were saying, well, you know, that really does create harmony. It does. When we embody humility. And that's, you know, so your question is, the answer is service, service, service. But also to embody. There is, to me, there is such power in that word. There's a big, big difference between practicing greatest love and embodying greatest love. It's like they're two different animals. And that is true for all of these. We can practice these, and probably most of us, because we've been socialized the way we have been, most of us have been taught, you know, that we need to practice these various things. Well, maybe not this. Maybe some of us didn't get too much of a teaching on that. Flourishing. Well, I take it back. Probably we all got teaching on that. Flourishing, reach your potential. It also means financially, financial blessings. But it also means every other aspect of your life. Reach your potential, your fullest potential. So, a lot of us, that was encouraged. But as I said, there's a very big difference between practicing these qualities and embodying these qualities. So. Yes? No? Okay. I'm not interpreting the head signals.
There's just one comment I want to honor. Francis Ann Brown wrote, "Harmony with self. Thank you for this wisdom and teaching of Saint Patrick."
Oh.
From Francis Ann Brown. Thank you.
You're welcome, Francis Ann. I absolutely could not let the day pass without having my own little mini celebration. I grew up in St. Patrick's Parish. Went to a Catholic school. During Lent, it was very sober. But on St. Patrick's Day, we had a carnival. And because Patrick, went all over the world, we earned money for children in Latin America and Africa. That was all of the money from our carnival went to children in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. So this was just, it was part of my training, all the way up. Yeah. Yes.
I just want to say, in honor
Where's-
of St. Patrick's Day,
Wait a minute, you need the
greatest harmony. In honor of greatest harmony, I would think, feel, sense, if we're in greatest harmony with our planet, Mother Earth, we will see, sense, and feel the little ones.
We'd see what?
See, sense, and feel the little ones, the elves,
Oh,
the
yeah.
leprechauns.
Yeah.
That we are so in conflict with our environment that we can, and so we miss a lot of the subtle dimensions of what's actually going on, including little people.
You're absolutely right. That's absolutely. My grandmother, when she would lose something, she would say, "We people," meaning the little people, the elves, "we people, big people, our size, borrow and lend, bring back that, whatever it was, needle, as fast as you can," and it would appear in front of her. Yeah. So I would agree with you. A lot of people, discount that part of life. But when we realize that there is so much more to life than what we can see with these eyes, and we often sense it. We often sense that. Yes.
Hi, glad to be here. Maybe I should stand up, I don't know. Maybe I should stand up in honor of our dear St. Patrick. I just want to say that there's a legend about him respecting the little people so beautifully in the wee people. We call the wee people, the fairyland people.
Yes.
And he honored them. And there's a legend that he went to Rome to make sure that the great authorities would honor those little ones. And so March 17 is a fixed holiday for them. And that's why we talk about elves and fairyland. And it's what we call a fairy faith, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very strange because some people leave food out for the babies to come, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask the woman who does this, she'll say, "Oh no, that's nothing." But they're there, she'll say, but they're there. See?
Yes.
So she's able to do both meanings in her psyche. It contains two
two dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in harmony with that.
Yes, beautiful.
And she brings that harmony to us. And I know many of us laugh and say, oh no, there's no such thing as a fairy, there's no such thing as an elf, there's no such thing as, you know, these wonderful beings. But the fairy faith says, no, they're here. You just may not see them, but if you're very careful, you'll feel them.
Yes. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Well, just something brief to add. I knew a psychologist that I was working under, and she decided to do some serious research on fairies and the little people. And she went off to Ireland for a year and lived there and talked in certain parts of Ireland. She interviewed very elderly people to get the teachings and the wisdom about the fairies and the knowledge. And they're people who have had experiences, these sort of magical type experiences. However, while she was there, she'd have experiences out in nature, in the forest, in the brook. But what she described is identical to things I experienced. That, like I'd go out backpacking alone in the woods for a week or more. And the redwoods have this, at the foot of the redwoods, grows something called oxalis. And oxalis is this little green thing that looks just like shamrocks.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a magical place. So I'm in a redwood grove, and it's a little after the rainy season, you know, in the spring. And I walk by a brook with all this oxalis, and I can swear I hear laughter. Like there's somebody there laughing. Kind of. And my immediate thought is, oh, it's the fairies are laughing. But this was her experience, that the laughter is coming through another dimension from these nature spirits. Well, she felt that the fairies and some of the little creatures in Irish folklore and legend are actually nature spirits, the spirit of the shamrock, the spirit of the plants. Mm-hmm. And of course, when I lived with the Maya, I was trained how to communicate with the spirits of medicine plants and how to do ceremony to connect with the spirit of the medicine plant, because you have to do that if you're working with the herbs and trying to help patients. You have to connect with the medicine plants on a spirit level. So I have this kind of training that native people have this understanding. But yeah, I had these experiences where kind of like I'm in a magical grove, and it's always in this oxalis patch that I hear this laughter.
So how many people have had like comparable experiences like that? Probably many of us have had. Comparable. How many people have had comparable experiences? Okay. Yeah. Very good. You know, I don't want to, you know.
Yeah, dear, but.
But it's very, very valid. And the experience of being in harmony within myself and harmony with myself will allow me to acknowledge that which is around me. Not so much allow me, but make it possible. Will reveal that. The one on there about singing my own melody. Sing my own note, no matter what others are singing. So if my note is to be able to interact with and experience all these spirits, the we folks, to go ahead and allow that to happen. Whether other folks are experiencing it or not, it's okay. It's okay. And it's very important that we make it truly okay. Not everybody has the same contribution they're going to make. Other people will be bringing other pieces to the puzzle, other threads that they will weave into the tapestry. Yes.
So there's another comment, another weave into the tapestry from our beloved Master He Xie. And she writes, "Thank you, Master Marilyn, for your wisdom teachings. Everything starts with oneself. The inner conflicts cause the outer conflicts. The self-hatred, self-denial cause the condemnation, fighting, and hatred in the world. We ourselves are a whole universe. Through developing and nurturing the 10 Da qualities, we come to know who we truly are. We are not our thoughts. We are not our emotions. We are not our bodies, let alone the programming, social conditioning, opinions, mindsets, attachments, and worldviews. When we embody the 10 Da qualities, right actions will follow. Thank you, Master Shah, for bringing us the greatest teachings. Thank you, Master Marilyn, for your service. Love your teaching." Oh.
Beautiful, thank you. Yes, that's it exactly. So what we'll do tomorrow is we'll spend more time. We'll spend part of the time developing a greater harmony with ourselves and within ourselves. And that way we will be able to allow that pebble to drop into the water and ripple out, out, out. And we will realize we're really not a pebble dropped into the water, but we are the water. So there is no way that we can be separated from all that ripples out, and that all that ripples out can be separated from who we are. And what Master Chi Ching reminded us of, that we are a small universe. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to this part in Soul Over Matter. And what we will chant Da He Xie, because what we chant is what we become. What we sing is what we become. And I'll do the say hello greeting, and you can repeat it after me. So please sit straight. And if you can do it, have your heels matching. If that is difficult for you, then please sit in a way that's comfortable. Yeah, have your heels touching. Thank you. And if you put both hands below your navel and close your eyes, put your focus at your Ming Men acupuncture point. all the way down to the heels of your feet. And where you put your focus is where the light will go. The sound power will be Da, He Xie. And the soul power is to say hello. Dear soul, mind, and body of myself, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. You have the power to be harmonized. Do a good job. Dear Source, dear Heaven and Mother Earth, dear all saints in heaven and on Mother Earth, Da He Xie, greatest harmony. Please bless me with harmony. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Da He Xie, 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 Da He Xie. So we are what we are singing. We are that harmony within, without limit, without boundaries. That is who we are. So as we sing Da He Xie, that is who we are. Da He Xie, 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 Da He Xie. Great is harmony, 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 heart touch heart, 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 is greatest strength, is greatest strength, is greatest strength, is greatest strength, secret to success, 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 secret says, how, how. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just want to say thank you, Master Marilyn. Thank you very much for the practice and the blessings.
So we could have a couple of people share your experience of that practice.
That was great. There were so many blockages removed. I mean, this was just phenomenal. A lot of stuff in my body that was not operating in harmony is now doing that, and muscles that meet right here at the heart, the sternum, just totally went to alignment. So, not only that, but just all of the love that I felt, and what else can I say? It's just
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you want to, you're welcome to. For the people on the webcast, I think it's always lovely to see a face that goes with the voice. When I'm on the webcast, I really appreciate that.
Feels really good to invoke the spirits that the divine has blessed us with, and it feels cleansing. We're all hanging out and we get to enjoy this together, and that's special. I believe we should do this more often, at home, when you're just hanging out. You feel more in tune. You feel more correct. You feel like, just feel like you. Nothing better feeling like yourself.
Great, thank you. And that's really what happens. We become aligned with this particular quality. And everything changes, can change.
Thank you.
Yeah. Practices are very powerful. Are there any comments on the webcast? No. Or the teleconference
Let
line?
me check the phone, and if people want to leave a comment in the webcast, please go ahead.
Callers may unmute themselves by pressing star 1.
So the line is now open. People on the teleconference can share.
This conference is unmuted. Callers may mute themselves by pressing star 1.
Master Marilyn, Soul Family, can you hear me? This is Linnea.
Yes, Sonia. Could you speak a little bit louder?
Yes, of course. Is that better?
Perfect.
Thank you for this opportunity. I found that I needed to stand and do soul movement because my heart and soul were opening at such an advanced and fast rate that the rest of me needed to move, integrate the light. How? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If anyone else on the teleconference has a comment, you can.
Yes, my heart feels, my body feels very peaceful.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you,
Okay, sounds like that might be it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end a little bit early. Those of you who have been here on Wednesday night or Tuesday night know that public transportation is calling. And it has a very definite departure time. And if I'm not there, they will not wait for me. So we're going to end just very, very simply by saying 3 times, and maybe we could all stand and say 3 times to all the holy beings, Da He Xie. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gong Song, Gong Song, Gong Song. And people on the webcast, as well as people in the room, imagine a whole weekend where we will continue this way. So you can register, and you can register online. You can also register by phone in the office. Or those of you in the room can register in person. You don't need to phone. So everyone on the webcast and on the teleconference, bye-bye. Oh, wonderful. Lawrence will copy the registration link for the webcasters in the chat box. Great. Thank you, Lawrence.
For those on the phone, they can go to drshaw.com.
Yeah, on the phone, you can go to drshaw.com. And the phone number is 415-971-7373.
It will be recorded so that if they can't make any portion.
Oh, right. So if you are not able to do this continuously over the weekend, it is being recorded. And in a couple of days, it's amazing. Jason is amazing. He has it posted to San Francisco. DrShawSF.com, and that's video on demand. That's a special website for all the workshops that we're doing, and people can go back. If you've registered, you can go back and watch the parts you missed. You can watch it again. If you didn't miss any of it and you like some parts really, really well, you can watch those over and over and over again. Or if you miss it totally, you can register later and watch it after the fact. So there are many options. So once again to the webcasters, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.